Won a perfect 3-0 on Monday night with the complimentary plays here on the video report, giving you a pair of NBA winners on the Cavaliers and the Jazz, and a baseball winner on the Yankees. That's 9 out of 13 with the complimentary plays over the past week, with two more free selections for your Tuesday card coming up in just a moment. Going to break down a couple of NBA games that both have playoff implications. The Clippers at Phoenix and the game between the Celtics and the Toronto Raptors in Boston. Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here. This is going to be your Tuesday video report. Jeff Benton, by the way, remains on a red hot roll, and for the third straight day, you can get his best bet for half price. It's going to be the fourth straight day overall. You've gotten his plays at a huge discount today. Not only winning day number 6 out of 7, but his first 100 dime max wager release of this baseball season. His interleague game of the year on the Tigers and Pirates. It's a 100 dime play. Now, the past 2 days, he had 80 dime plays, both winners, both of which you got for half price. Yesterday, it was the Dodgers easy over the Mariners. 2 days ago, it was the Mets plus $1.10 over the Braves on Sunday. This play is bigger, but it's still going to be half price, and you get it for half price by simply using the coupon code HALF, HALF. Keep in mind, Jeff has made $10 bettors the past 2 seasons in baseball, a little over $8 grand, and in all sports combined since last April, they're up over $13,800. All your other discounts, all your other promos, etc., can be found on the homepage of the site. Let's get to your complimentary plays. I think these games are kind of interesting here tonight. Listen, the Clippers are a 10-point favorite in their season finale at Phoenix. Now, we know how the Suns just fell off the face of the earth, no pun intended, here over the past couple of weeks. And it's mainly because the team that was so good offensively early in the season simply couldn't find their way to the bucket anymore. They have lost 9 of their last 10 games, going 3-7 against the spread in that stretch. But worse yet, in that 10-game period, this team that lit up scoreboards for the first 7/8 of this NBA season that started way back in November, this team the past 10 games shot just 41.6% from the floor, averaged only 89.5 points. And this is the amazing thing, guys, 89.5 points the past 10 games, right? The first 71 games of the season, 104.2 points a game. We're talking a huge differential here. I mean, huge. One of the reasons why? Well, listen, all those deadline deals that, they got rid of half their backcourt. They brought in Brandon Knight. Well, that's turned out to be a bust because Knight has missed almost 3-4 weeks of action. He's only played 1 game in the last 15, I think it is. Meanwhile, Eric Bledsoe, who they paid the big money to, simply hasn't produced. In fact, last game out against San Antonio, first time he hit 0 for 20 points or more in that horrific 10-game stretch. Now, the Clippers here, listen, they're coming off a win last night against Denver. It was at home, okay? You see they won the game, but listen, they did not play well. I mean, they were hammered on the boards by a shorthanded Denver squad, 58-47. They gave up 25 offensive rebounds in that game. They were down by 6 with just 6 minutes to go before going on a 14-1 run that finally allowed them to put the game away. Why is this game important for the Clippers? Well, they remain tied for second place in the West with Houston and San Antonio. They're 1 game ahead of Memphis because the Grizzlies lost last night at Golden State. Now, they can clinch the number 3 spot right now with a win here tonight. They could move to number 2 if the Rockets and Spurs lose their season finales on Wednesday. But here's the interesting thing. Without a win tonight, they could fall to number 5 in the Western Conference seedings. Now, the way the playoff seedings works doesn't mean you don't get home court advantage just because you're number 5. They would actually then play Portland and then host the Portland in the first round series. Don't ask me why. I don't make the rules, okay? But it's still an important game for them here. They've won 13 of their last 14 games, including 6 in a row. They've won 7 straight on the road. They've covered 11 of their last 13 outside of the Staples Center as well. So you've got a Clippers team that is certainly motivated, a Clippers team that is 3-0 in the season series, scoring at least 120 points in each game against the defenseless Suns. Blake Griffin in those 3 games has averaged 29 points. Chris Paul in those 3 games has averaged 25 points and 10 assists a game. I'm going to go with the Clippers, obviously, here in this spot. Listen, The Suns are coming off a 107-91 loss to the Spurs. Okay, that was at home. Before that, they got hammered by the Pelicans. Before that, my God, it was an embarrassing 96-69 loss at Atlanta, part of an 0-4 road trip. So in 3 of their most recent 4 games on that road trip, they got destroyed. Do you think they're going to show up tonight and suddenly show a little heart just because it's their season finale? Their season was over weeks ago. Just they have to play the games. So the Clippers are going to be the first play. Interesting game here tonight with Toronto and Chicago. Now, the Raptors were the number 3 seed in the East, right? But they fell to number 4, half game behind the Bulls, thanks to Chicago's win last night. Now, does it mean a hell of a lot? Well, it could be. Could matter who you're going to play in the first round of the playoffs, right? Could have a influence on who you may play in the second round should you advance. Listen, tonight they're at Boston. The Celtics are coming off a home-and-home sweep of the Cleveland Cavaliers, but don't get too excited. Cleveland rested 4/5 of their starting lineup in the rematch a couple of nights ago at Boston, so big deal. Now, the Raptors are 3-0 on their current road trip, but again, big deal. Who have they beaten? They took care of business against Charlotte by 18. They beat Orlando by 2, and they beat the Miami Heat by 3. All 3 of those teams are going to be watching the playoffs this weekend, just like you and us on TV, okay? But they won those 3 games in a 4-day stretch, and now they have been idle since Saturday. They did get Kyle Lowry back, although he has really struggled. This is just going to be his 3rd game back after missing 9 out of 10. He's only shot 27% in those first 2 games back against the Heat and the Magic, 2 teams not exactly known for their defensive prowess, okay? Now, meanwhile, the Celtics have won 4 straight, 6 of 7, 22 of 34. Marcus Smart hit a jumper in overtime to deliver a win for the Celtics at Toronto, 117-116 in the last meeting April 4th, so just 10 days ago. Isaiah Thomas really has been such a huge acquisition, the former Sun guard, by the Celtics. He's averaged 23 points a game the last 5, shooting 51%. He had 25 points in the overtime win, as I said, back on April 4th. I think right now you've got the Celtics are just playing with such confidence. They are a streaking team. I'm going to go with them tonight. Boston is going to be the play. And listen, the Celtics are right now number 7 in the Eastern Conference seedings. They could possibly fall out of playoff contention. They could slip to the number 8 spot. I mean, everything's up for grabs here. So, big game for the Celtics. I think tonight they deliver, especially since, remember, Amir Johnson is still out, one of the starting forwards for the Raptors. Lowry not at 100%, and Toronto hasn't shown any tendency to play any defense here for a matter of months. So I'm going to go once again with the Boston Celtics and the LA Clippers as your 2 complimentary plays. Clippers laying the 10 at home, and the Celtics getting about 1.5 right now. They were 2 earlier in the day. As the home puppy against Toronto. That'll do it, guys. Best of luck to you all, and I'll catch you again tomorrow when we do this again.